Alright guys, this is Will from Cruiser Design and Manufacturing, and I just wanted to show you guys really quick how to go about switching from this old nasty stock cup holder that is really good at flipping drinks to this new and improved Cruiser Design and Manufacturing cup holder system. So all you're going to need for the install is a Phillips head screwdriver and maybe a plastic pry tool. If you haven't taken your center console out before, you know some of those stock parts might be a little tough to break loose without cracking your plastic maybe. So without further ado, we'll switch to the cockpit. Alright, so if you have an early model Land Cruiser, it probably looks just like this. Maybe a later model one looks a little bit different, but this is a 98. So what I'll start with, and of course I'm replacing my cup holder because it will not fold anymore. The folding mechanism is broken. So the first thing you want to do is unscrew your TK shifter. So we will unscrew that real quick. Should just pop right off. Set that aside. Then the next thing we want to do is turn the car on. I'm going to shift it to neutral. Make sure your parking brake is on if you're not on level ground. And I'll turn it back off because this is going to take a second. So the next thing I want to do, as you can see, I have a switch panel mounted here, but you probably just want to go ahead and pop out your ashtray to give you a little bit more space. Now my switch panel should just pop right off of the mount. I'll just undo that real quick so that I can move my ashtray out of the way. Now, what you want to do is kind of put your fingers under here, just pry up a little bit, and you should be able to kind of get a grip on the edge here. And the whole cup holder unit is just going to pop right out. Just be careful because this is, of course, old plastic. Everything should just come loose just like that. So now you can see the entire console is loose, and there are 3 screws that you have to undo, and they're right here, here, and here. And I'll show you that. So we're up under the console. Right here is the shifter. So your 3 screws you can see are right here, here, and on the edge here, and they're all just Phillips head. So back up top, all I really do to install a set is I take my Phillips head, and you want to have one that isn't too long. This one's almost too long, but rather than you know, going under here and unplugging all of these cables for all these switches, I like to just kind of pry it up about to here, and if I can set it right here on this this shifter button without feeling like it's gonna break, then that's what I'll do. And then I'll just take my screwdriver and I'll get right up under here and undo those screws. So there's one. And we are going to be reusing those same screws. And last one here. All right, so as you can see, we just have this little groove here, and our new cup holders match exactly. So the whole pattern matches up. The step right here on the lip matches up perfect, and it should go for an easy install. So now all you want to do is pop these up under here, and there are 2 tabs that you kind of slide on to locate. So once it's on there, it's pretty well located. It's not like it's going to slide back and forth. It locks into the console pretty well. So now we're just going to take our screws and put them right back in the same spot. Kind of get them started with my fingers if I can. You don't really want to try fishing them out of the console, but it's not like there's a super deep pit that they're going to fall into where you'll lose them. Let's see if I can't get the others started. So you guys will have to forgive me for the finish on this particular set of cup holders. I had a customer ask me for an install video, which is no problem. But the only set that I have that isn't going out to a customer, isn't shipping or being printed right now, is this one. And I had tested a little bit of sanding on here and hadn't got around to refinishing it. So that's why it kind of has this white finish. But most of our cup holders are going to have, as you can see on the inside, this nice glossy black plastic finish. Unless, of course, you order in a custom color, which is no problem. So we've got our cup holder installed. All 3 screws are tight. Let's see. We'll double check to make sure they're all firm before we go popping our plastic tabs back down. So we don't want to wear those out with a bunch of pulling up and down. So now all you have to do is kind of slide your center console all the way forward into its grooves. And I'm just going to kind of angle it. So this hole that we're in is actually asymmetrical. It's really strange. So it's not a steady curve. So what you want to do to make sure that this slides in well is kind of tilt this bottom right corner down in first, just like that, without putting too much pressure on here, and you'll kind of see it bow up. But after we seat everything back down, just give it a little bit of pressure and you'll feel all the tabs click, and that we are nice and firm in place. This cup holder is not going anywhere. We can fit our Yetis and they're not going anywhere. Any kind of, you know, really deep cups, they look good. Your drinks are going to be a lot more stable, especially when you're going off-roading or, you know, taking any turns. Your coffee's not going to get spilled, your soda's not going to get spilled. You could even fit, you know, Yeti bottles, Hydro Flasks, whatever you need in here. So to finish off, all we do is take our T-case shifter, slide it back on, get it nice and centered there. Pop your ashtray back in. Now we'll tighten back down my switch panel. And we are all set.